To the top right in red, he is known as
Tassadar.
Former NS Hosa, then brief FOU player.
I believe the first part of his shirt said Rollers, by the way.
Yeah, that's a mystery, that shirt.
And at the bottom center, we have our Zerg player.
Impact.
Very solid. Probably a face you're not that familiar with, but expect a lot in the future from this guy.
Yeah. That keyboard, by the way, is one of his sponsors. All the Axiom players have like super customized keyboards. You know, Ryung, Alicia, their keyboards like really stand out, really flashy. Crank as well. So Tassadar looks to be going Nexus first, and of course, Impact goes pool first against Tassadar. Anything else would be just too risky. Why not when you're up a game in the series and you're playing against Tassadar? Just take an extra step of caution. I like the choice.
Okay, and Nexus first now for Tassadar. No scout.
And this time it will not be the death of him.
So far, no. Looks like we're going to have a pool first from the Zerg, followed up with a hatchery here at the expansion. I do like that, what was it, the 5 pool? Was that what we had in the last game?
Yeah. Or no, 6
pool, excuse me. And, yeah, I mean, I thought it was a pretty smart move there, especially on that map. Because also if Tassadar, excuse me, were to do anything sneaky, although there's not much you could do, but it's Tassadar, so don't count him out on that.
Yeah, that's basically the rule of Tassadar.
Then he's probably going to, Impact will probably win anyways. Now we have the Forge about to finish, as well as the Gateway.
I'm feeling like we're going to see like an Immortal push or something. I really... If Tassadar shows me a good macro game, I get excited. I feel like his best matchup by far in the past, the one I looked at where I was like, okay, he has the most versatility, the most skill, is his PvT. But unfortunately, he was only playing against one Terran in this group, and he didn't even get matched up with him. And I don't think he's going to the saying, okay, I'm only going to cheese the Zergs, and when it's Terrans, I'll play real, because there's 2 Zergs in the group and only 1 Terran, and he's not even scheduled to match with him necessarily. I'm really curious to see what his approach is going to be here.
Well, the hatchery at the expansion's done, and we're waiting now for the cybernetic score to finish here from Tassadar.
Yep, sees his opponent's not spawned top left. Go down to the bottom part of the triangle. Or I guess yeah, I mean, it's still the bottom part no matter what. It's not on a point of the triangle in the middle of the map. But triangles, man, they get confusing. You know, there's little shapes, those little illusions you do in like elementary school. Like, how many triangles are in this triangle thing that has a bunch of triangles in it? You have to like think about.
How many?
You know, those little puzzles are actually
exactly
like really easy once you just, like look at them closely. But you're like, wow, that's a lot of triangles.
All right, so the probe comes up and checks the third. There's no third taken just yet. In fact, Zerg went ahead and got the gas. We have the Stargate coming down now for Tassadar.
He's playing for realsies, man. So far, like, everything he's done is completely normal. Not something we saw from Tails yesterday, but... I mean, look at how careful Impact is. Like, Crank went in there and he was like, check everything and then check it twice. And he basically has, like, checked everywhere on the map.
Here's a question for you, Wolf. Do you think there's a chance that Tassadar is going to try something gimmicky here? Because there's still room to cheese here with a Stargate opening. That's why Stargate is probably the most solid opening, is because you still have a chance to take a risk or do something crazy, or you can play a standard game.
I actually think, and this is like, this is one of the things that like I can say as, you know, just having commentated Tassadar's games for a really long time and commentating so many different leagues in Korea for long enough. I actually feel like he is going to play a normal game, and even if he planned on cheesing here, this is for pride to prove that he can actually play a normal game. I do not think he's going to cheese again. Even if he fails in the normal, he's going to try. Well, actually, nope. There's a Void Ray after the Phoenix, so maybe what I'm saying is wrong. 4
gates here. Well, let's see. He's getting the +1. He did put those gates in a different spot. Now, Zerg is, of course, outside the Protoss' base checking to see, is there going to be a Nexus with the 2 pylons in the gateway? We're not going to see that.
No.
Now, this is a variation of, it's going to sound weird, but it is a variation of what we saw in the DRG game.
Yeah.
Just the DRG game didn't have a Stargate.
Yeah.
But he is sitting back, getting this Void Ray, getting +1 attack, and he's going to have a 7-gate timing here.
The Void Ray just does so much extra damage to roaches, and if there's ever a weird situation where like the queens are removed, then the Void Rays of course can't be targeted by any other ground unit. Speedlings generally are like the best answer to this because the Void Ray just can't do damage to them quickly enough to actually eliminate them. If he makes mostly Zealots though, Void Ray Zealot can be very strong because you can even pull some of your probes out of gas to get those extra minerals. The Lings get cleaned up by the Zealots, and then the Void Rays deal with any roaches that might come out. It's an old strategy, old timing, and oh, cat's out of the bag. Those 2 Void Rays don't mean anything else when you're playing against Tassadar. Yeah, he even sees that warp in there from the high ground. He's just going to stop droning completely. He has a Hydra Den on the way. He's going to make Lings to buy time. This still could work, though. I mean, this is a really strong push. Losing this probe hurts so much, though. No pylon to warp in from.
Yeah, with no pylon, I mean, this almost doesn't work. He's going to pull another probe here. He might even want to pull more than one. I mean, this is pretty all-in-ish. The +1 attack upgrade is going to finish. 28 Lings just hatched. But yeah, he needs to have the pylons like right there by the base.
Yeah.
Or this doesn't work. Oh my God!
Oh my God, Tassadar.
Okay, well, this is how you skin a Tassadar. There's several different ways to do it.
Yeah.
But eventually you will end up with your Tassadar pelt.
Yeah, man.
In the GSL, I mean, he's just, and you know, getting all these Lings out here, this is not going to help. Or the Void Rays won't be able to help against all these Lings, is what I meant to say.
Well,
not the best force fields there. He needs to go those Zealots on the other side. Now he's going to wait for these force fields to go away before he can engage these Hydras.
Most certainly defense here easily.
I think Tassadar might be SOL, man.
I think so, dude. I think he's I think he's DED dead, man.
He's dead, man, Kappa. Dead nerd.
Well, I mean, this is just what happens when your playstyle is like so one-sided that there's literally no dimension. He's not even 1D, man. He's got no dimensions. This is pretty tough to watch. Not just because he gets shut down so hard, but just because it's like, to me, pretty clear.
This is his legacy today.
Yeah.
You know, I guess you could say a little bit gimmicky builds. Let's see. He is making more Stalkers here, but this follow-up could be pretty easy. There you see it, 20 Lings hatching. By the way, he's getting Burrow here, too. He warped in Stalkers, but those are headed home. He will get the rest of these Stalkers up here. There it is, GG. Short and sweet.
Tassadar falls 0-4, last place in the group. Not a single map win. And to be honest, he doesn't even seem that that upset about it.
I mean, he's going to have to go back to the drawing board. It's very clear here that Tassadar does not have an interest. I don't know how the last game would have gone, or the previous game from this one. Game number 1 would have gone. But, I mean, so far he showed us 3 all-ins. One very specific, about as all-in as you can be, building stuff right outside their base. The other one, 2 timing builds that if they don't work, you're basically going to lose, especially if you're against a player of the caliber of DRG or Impact. So, I mean, guys, cheesing is actually great.
It's fine.
Sometimes there are players like Hyva that cheese a lot and get really far, but you have to be able to have a normal game. If you can't play a normal game, I mean, you just can't win.
If all you do is cheese, it's no longer a cheese. It's actually just you're using you're
crap
gimmicking.
Build.
Actually, you're just basic gimmicking.
It's a crap build that'll get you so far on the ladder. And I mean, look, all the players here, they get to watch the other players play. I mean, all the games they played together, they're all on record. Yeah. So, I mean,
and this is not even just like the matches today.
Tassadar is not fooling anyone is the problem. Anyways, we're going to go to a short break. When we come back, we're going to see what our final player, who our final player is going to be in this group for the GSL Code A.